Welcome to the Shadows, unveiling the mysteries of the Heathman Hotel. Welcome, dear viewers, to another spine-chilling episode of Whispers from the Shadows, your ultimate destination for all things eerie and mysterious. If you're new here, I warmly invite you to subscribe and join our growing community of thrill seekers and ghost enthusiasts. Each week, we delve deep into the world of the supernatural, bringing you stories that will both terrify and captivate your imagination. Today, we embark on a particularly haunting journey as we explore the most hauntings of the Heathman Hotel. Nestled in the heart of Portland, Oregon, this historic establishment stands as a testament to elegance and intrigue, its grand architecture and storied past concealing a labyrinth of spectral tales that have fascinated visitors for over a century. From ghostly apparitions to unexplained phenomena, the Heathman Hotel is more than just a luxurious retreat. It is a portal to another realm where the past refuses to fade. So, grab your favorite blanket, dim the lights, and prepare yourself for an unforgettable exploration of this haunted haven. As we unfold each story, remember, sometimes checking in can mean never checking out. Let's dive into the shadows together and discover what truly lies behind the doors of these chilling accommodations. A storied legacy. The historical significance of the Heathman Hotel. Perched proudly in downtown Portland, Oregon, the Heathman Hotel has long been a beacon of sophistication and refinement, its stately presence commanding attention amidst the city's bustling urban landscape. Established in 1927 by lumber baron George Heathman, the hotel was conceived as a sanctuary for the elite, a place where opulence met comfort, and where guests could revel in the finest amenities of the era. Its Renaissance Revival architecture, marked by ornate brickwork, arched windows, and a towering clock tower, exudes an air of timeless elegance that has drawn travelers, dignitaries, and celebrities alike. Yet beneath its polished exterior lies a history rich with drama, ambition, and tragedy, elements that have woven themselves into the fabric of its haunted legacy. The origins of the Heathman Hotel trace back to George Heathman's vision of creating a landmark that would elevate Portland's status as a cultural and economic hub. Heathman, a prominent figure in the Pacific Northwest timber industry, spared no expense in realizing his dream. The hotel quickly became synonymous with luxury, boasting lavish suites, a grand ballroom, and a library stocked with rare volumes signed by their authors, a tradition that continues to this day. Over the decades, the Heathman played host to luminaries such as Presidents Franklin D. Roosevelt and John F. Kennedy, literary giants like William Faulkner and Tennessee Williams, and musical icons including Elvis Presley and James Brown. Its walls bore witness to countless moments of triumph, creativity, and celebration, cementing its reputation as a cornerstone of Portland's social and cultural life. However, the hotel's illustrious history is not without its darker chapters. One of the most infamous incidents occurred during the Great Depression, when financial strain forced George Heathman to sell the property he had poured his heart and soul into building. Devastated by the loss, Heathman reportedly fell into a deep depression, retreating into obscurity until his death in 1935. Local lore suggests that his spirit returned to the hotel, lingering in the halls and suites as if unwilling to relinquish his connection to the masterpiece he created. Employees and guests alike have reported encountering a distinguished gentleman in early 20th century attire, pacing the corridors or gazing wistfully at the lobby's grand staircase. His presence is often accompanied by the faint scent of cigar smoke, a nod to Heathman's well-documented habit, and an overwhelming sense of melancholy, as though his sorrow permeates the very air. Beyond its founder's tragic tale, the Heathman has been shaped by other pivotal events that have left indelible marks on its haunted narrative. During World War II, the hotel served as temporary housing for soldiers awaiting deployment, transforming its once luxurious rooms into utilitarian quarters. The stress and uncertainty of wartime seeped into the building's foundations, giving rise to rumors of restless spirits still wandering its halls. Similarly, the hotel's role as a gathering place for artists, writers, and performers has imbued it with a creative energy that some believe lingers even after death. Stories abound of ghostly figures rehearsing lines in empty theaters, practicing piano scales in vacant lounges, or scribbling furiously in notebooks under the flickering light of bedside lamps. These spectral echoes of creativity add a unique layer to the hotel's haunted reputation, blending artistic passion with paranormal intrigue. What sets the Heathman apart from other historic hotels is the convergence of its architectural grandeur, its storied past, and its spectral legends. Each room, hallway, and public space seems to carry the weight of history, its walls whispering secrets of lives lived and lost within their confines. For those who dare to explore its shadowy corridors, the Heathman offers more than just a glimpse into Portland's golden age. It provides a visceral encounter with the mysteries that continue to elude understanding. Here, amidst the remnants of lives extinguished yet perpetuated through memory and myth, the past refuses to fade, lingering instead as a haunting reminder of the price paid for progress and survival. As we delve deeper into the haunting mysteries of the Heathman Hotel, it becomes clear that its history is not confined to the tangible relics of its past. Instead, it exists in a liminal space where the boundaries between the living and the dead blur, inviting those who dare to listen to the whispers carried on the evening breeze. Within its walls lies not only a monument to human ingenuity and perseverance but also a gateway to the unknown, a place where the echoes of history refuse to be silenced. The Ghost of Room 704, a tale of love and loss among the myriad spectral tales that shroud the Heathman Hotel. Few are as poignant, or as frequently recounted, as the haunting of Room 704. This particular suite, nestled on the 7th floor, has earned a reputation as one of the most active paranormal hotspots within the hotel, its walls seemingly saturated with the emotional residue of a tragic love affair that unfolded nearly a century ago. The story begins in the early 1930s, during the height of the Great Depression, when the nation was gripped by economic despair and societal upheaval. It was against this backdrop of hardship and uncertainty that a young couple, Eleanor and Charles, found solace in each other's arms, their romance blossoming amidst the turmoil of the times. Eleanor, a spirited artist with dreams of making her mark on the world, had traveled to Portland to exhibit her work at a local gallery. Charles, a struggling musician whose talents were overshadowed by his financial struggles, worked part-time as a pianist in the Heathman's grand ballroom. Their paths crossed one fateful evening when Eleanor, seeking refuge from the rain, sought shelter in the hotel's cozy lounge. Drawn to the melancholic strains of Charles's music, she approached him after his performance, sparking a conversation that would ignite a whirlwind romance. Over the next several weeks, the couple spent countless hours together, exploring the city's hidden gems, sharing their aspirations, and finding comfort in the warmth of their connection. Room 704 became their private sanctuary, a place where they could escape the harsh realities of the outside world and lose themselves in each other's company. However, their love story was destined to end in tragedy. As the depression deepened, Charles found himself increasingly unable to support himself or Eleanor. Desperate to provide for her, he took on odd jobs that kept him away from the hotel for extended periods, leaving Eleanor to grapple with loneliness and doubt. The strain began to take its toll on their relationship, culminating in a heated argument during one of their final nights in Room 704. Witnesses later recounted hearing raised voices and the sound of shattering glass emanating from the suite, followed by an eerie silence that seemed to settle over the entire floor. The next morning, housekeeping staff discovered Eleanor lying motionless on the bed, her life extinguished by an apparent overdose of sleeping pills. Beside her was a handwritten note addressed to Charles, expressing her undying love and apologizing for what she saw as her inability to endure the hardships of their circumstances. Charles, devastated by Eleanor's death, returned to the hotel shortly thereafter, only to collapse in grief upon learning of her fate. Though he survived, his spirit was irreparably broken. He eventually disappeared from Portland altogether, leaving behind a legacy of sorrow that would haunt Room 704 for generations to come. Guests who have stayed in the suite since Eleanor's passing report a variety of unsettling phenomena, many of which seem to echo the emotions of the ill-fated lovers. Some describe feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness upon entering the room, as if the air itself is heavy with despair. Others claim to hear faint whispers or the sound of soft sobbing, particularly late at night when the hotel falls silent. One of the most chilling accounts involves a guest who swore they saw a woman in a vintage dress standing by the window, her silhouette illuminated by the moonlight. When approached, the figure dissolved into nothingness. Adding to the mystery of Room 704 is the recurring theme of music, a nod to Charles's profession and his enduring influence on the space. Guests have described hearing the distant strains of a piano drifting through the walls, despite there being no instrument in the suite. On occasion, the notes form recognizable melodies, including pieces that Charles was known to play during his time at the Heathman. Some interpret these auditory phenomena as a reflection of his eternal longing for Eleanor, his music serving as a bridge between the living and the dead. Others see it as a manifestation of the creative energy that permeates the hotel, a reminder of the countless artists and performers who have passed through its doors. What makes the haunting of Room 704 particularly compelling is its consistency and specificity. Unlike other areas of the hotel, where paranormal activity tends to vary in nature and intensity, the phenomena associated with this suite are remarkably uniform, suggesting a focused and enduring presence. This theory gains traction when considering the emotional resonance of Eleanor's apparition. Witnesses describe a palpable sense of longing and regret emanating from her ghostly form, as if she is perpetually reliving the moments leading up to her untimely demise. Others report feeling an oppressive weight in the air when entering the room, particularly near the bed where she was found, as though the anguish of her final hours continues to saturate the space. For those brave enough to venture into its shadowy confines, Room 704 offers far more than a glimpse into the romantic tragedies of the past. It provides a visceral encounter with the spectral echoes of love and loss, where the mundane trappings of daily life are disrupted by inexplicable phenomena that defy rational explanation. Whether driven by duty, despair, or unfinished business, these spectral lovers serve as reminders of the sacrifices made to safeguard the island's shores. Their stories, interwoven with the lighthouse's history, transform it into more than just a museum. It becomes a living, breathing entity, haunted by the echoes of those who once called it home. In this sacred space, where the echoes of tragedy reverberate through time, the past refuses to fade, lingering instead as a haunting reminder of the price paid for progress and survival. The Phantom Performer. Echoes of creativity and tragedy. While Room 704 may hold the distinction of being the Heathman Hotel's most consistently haunted space, the Grand Ballroom below tells a story equally steeped in spectral intrigue, one shaped by the vibrant yet volatile world of performance and artistry. This opulent venue, once the stage for glittering galas, theatrical productions, and intimate recitals, now serves as a focal point for paranormal activity linked to a phantom performer whose identity remains shrouded in mystery. Known simply as the Maestro, this ghostly figure is believed to be the spirit of a musician or conductor whose life ended tragically within the walls of the Heathman, leaving behind a legacy of haunting melodies and unfulfilled ambitions. The origins of the Maestro's legend are difficult to trace, obscured by the passage of time and the fluidity of oral tradition. However, fragments of the tale suggest that the ghost belongs to a man named Elias Hartwell, a prodigious composer and conductor who rose to prominence in the early 20th century. Hartwell was celebrated for his innovative compositions, which blended classical orchestration with the emerging jazz influences of the Roaring Twenties. His talent brought him to the attention of Portland's elite, securing him frequent engagements at the Heathman's Ballroom, where he conducted sold-out performances that captivated audiences. Yet beneath his polished exterior lay a tormented soul, grappling with the pressures of fame, financial instability, and personal demons. Hartwell's downfall began during a particularly ambitious project, a symphony commissioned by a wealthy patron to debut at the Heathman. Was intended to be his magnum opus, a haunting exploration of life, death, and the ephemeral nature of existence. However, the composition process proved grueling, consuming Hartwell's every waking moment and driving him to the brink of exhaustion. As the premiere date approached, tensions mounted, exacerbated by disagreements with the orchestra and mounting expectations from his benefactor. On the eve of the performance, Hartwell locked himself in the ballroom, determined to perfect the final movements of the symphony. What transpired that night remains unclear, but witnesses reported hearing a cacophony of sounds emanating from the room, discordant notes, muffled shouting, and the crash of instruments being thrown against the walls. When hotel staff finally broke down the door the following morning, they discovered Hartwell slumped over the piano, his body lifeless and his face frozen in an expression of anguish. Beside him lay the incomplete score of Symphonie de Ambers, its pages smeared with ink and tears. Since that fateful night, the ballroom has become a nexus of supernatural activity, with reports of ghostly phenomena surfacing regularly among employees and visitors. Staff members recount hearing the faint strains of music drifting through the empty hall, as if an invisible orchestra is rehearsing under the chandeliers. The melodies are often fragmented and disjointed, resembling the unfinished sections of Hartwell's symphony, while others mimic the lively jazz tunes he incorporated into his earlier works. On occasion, patrons have described seeing shadowy figures moving across the stage, their forms illuminated briefly by the glow of overhead lights before vanishing into thin air. These apparitions are typically clad in formal attire, tailcoats, bow ties, and gloves, reminiscent of the musicians who once filled the space with life and energy. One particularly chilling account involves a wedding party that rented the ballroom for their reception. As the festivities reached their peak, guests began to notice strange occurrences: chairs shifting positions without explanation, glasses lifting off tables, and the unmistakable sound of applause echoing through the hall despite no audience being present. The bride and groom, initially dismissive of the claims, were startled when a member of the catering staff captured video footage of a man in a tuxedo conducting an imaginary orchestra atop the stage. His gestures were precise and animated, yet his form flickered like static, dissolving entirely when approached. Many believe this figure to be the maestro himself, forever tethered to the ballroom where his dreams were both realized and shattered. The emotional resonance of Hartwell's ghost is further amplified by the physical sensations reported by those who encounter him. Visitors often describe feeling an overwhelming sense of pressure in the chest, as though weighed down by an invisible force, or experiencing sudden drops in temperature, particularly near the piano. Some claim to smell the faint aroma of aged parchment and spilled ink, evoking images of late-night composing sessions fueled by desperation and despair. These sensory details lend credence to the belief that Hartwell's spirit remains trapped in a perpetual cycle of creation and destruction, unable to move on due to the unresolved nature of his final performance. Adding depth to the maestro's haunting is the recurring motif of mirrors, which appear to play a significant role in his spectral manifestations. Several eyewitnesses have reported catching glimpses of Hartwell's reflection in the ballroom's ornate mirrors, his gaunt face staring back at them with hollow eyes. In one instance, a photographer attempting to capture candid shots of the venue inadvertently snapped a photo of a man standing center stage, his arms raised in a dramatic conducting pose. Upon closer inspection, the figure bore no resemblance to anyone present at the event, leading many to conclude that it was Hartwell immortalized in the frame. Mirrors, traditionally regarded as portals between worlds, seemed to amplify the presence of the maestro, allowing him to step momentarily into the realm of the living before retreating into the shadows. What sets the haunting of the ballroom apart from other areas of the Heathman is its dynamic interplay between art and the supernatural. Unlike the more intimate and personal hauntings of Room 704, the ballroom's spectral activity feels almost performative, as if the maestro is compelled to reenact the highs and lows of his career for an unseen audience. This duality creates an atmosphere thick with tension, where moments of beauty and terror coexist in uneasy harmony. For those attuned to the whispers of the past, the ballroom becomes more than just a venue. It transforms into a living canvas, painted with the spectral brushstrokes of creativity and tragedy. For those brave enough to explore its shadowy depths, the Heathman's Grand Ballroom offers a unique opportunity to confront the fragility of human ambition. Here, amidst the remnants of lives cut tragically short, visitors are reminded of the thin veil separating the mortal world from the realm of the unknown. The ghost of the maestro, forever tethered to the stage that defined his existence, serves as a poignant symbol of resilience and remembrance, his spectral presence a testament to the enduring power of memory and mystery. In this sacred space, where the echoes of tragedy reverberate through time, the past refuses to fade, lingering instead as a haunting reminder of the price paid for progress and survival. The Keeper of the Keys, a watchful presence among the myriad spectral figures said to haunt the Heathman Hotel, none evoke as much curiosity or trepidation as the enigmatic figure known only as the Keeper of the Keys. This ghostly custodian, believed to be the spirit of a former hotel staff member, roams the halls and corridors with an unwavering sense of purpose, ensuring that the establishment operates smoothly even in the afterlife. Unlike the more emotionally charged hauntings tied to love, loss, or artistic fervor, the keeper's presence is marked by a quiet efficiency that borders on the unsettling, as if he is bound to the hotel by an unspoken oath of duty. The origins of the keeper's legend are steeped in ambiguity, with scant historical records offering definitive clues about his identity. However, local folklore points to a man named Harold Whitaker, a longtime employee of the Heathman who served as head concierge during the mid-20th century. Known for his meticulous attention to detail and unparalleled knowledge of the hotel's inner workings, Whitaker was the linchpin of the Heathman's operations, ensuring that every guest experienced nothing short of perfection. His dedication earned him the nickname, the Keeper of the Keys, a title symbolizing his role as the guardian of the hotel's secrets and treasures. Whether it was retrieving misplaced belongings, resolving logistical issues, or orchestrating elaborate events, Whitaker's presence was synonymous with reliability and order. Yet, beneath his composed exterior lay a man burdened by the weight of his responsibilities. The demands of maintaining the Heathman's impeccable standards took a toll on Whitaker, who reportedly worked grueling hours without complaint, often neglecting his own well-being in service of the hotel. Colleagues recall him as a solitary figure, rarely seen outside the confines of the establishment, his life seemingly entwined with its rhythms. When Whitaker passed away unexpectedly in 1968, many speculated that the stress of his position had contributed to his untimely demise. True to form, his final wish was to have his ashes scattered across the hotel grounds, a request honored by management in recognition of his decades of service. Decades later, tales of Whitaker's ghost began to surface, painting a picture of a spectral figure who refused to relinquish his posthumous duties. Employees and guests alike report encountering a man in a crisp suit, complete with a bowler hat and a ring of jangling keys hanging from his belt. He is often seen patrolling the hallways, inspecting door frames, or adjusting furniture with an air of quiet authority. Those who attempt to approach him find that he vanishes before they can make contact, dissolving into the shadows as if the act of observation disrupts his ethereal form. Some describe feeling a gentle brush against their arm, or hearing the faint clink of metal, as though Whitaker is subtly reminding them of his presence. What makes the keeper's haunting particularly intriguing is its functional nature. Unlike other ghosts who seem driven by emotion or unfinished business, Whitaker appears to operate with a singular focus, maintaining the integrity of the Heathman Hotel. Staff members recount instances of misplaced items mysteriously returning to their rightful places overnight, as if guided by an unseen hand. Others speak of doors unlocking themselves when needed or elevators arriving promptly despite mechanical delays, attributing these occurrences to the keeper's intervention. While such phenomena might be dismissed as coincidence, the consistency and specificity of these events suggest otherwise. One notable account involves a group of housekeeping staff who were preparing a suite for VIP guests when they realized a crucial piece of furniture, a custom-made ottoman, was missing. After searching the room and storage areas to no avail, they resigned themselves to informing management of the oversight. However, upon returning to the suite minutes later, they found the ottoman perfectly positioned beside the armchair, as though it had always been there. Surveillance footage reviewed afterward showed no one entering or exiting the room during the interim, leaving the staff baffled and convinced that the keeper had intervened. Thermal imaging cameras have also played a pivotal role in documenting paranormal activity at the Heathman. During nighttime investigations, researchers have captured footage of inexplicable cold spots materializing in various locations, particularly near the Grand Ballroom and within room 704. These temperature fluctuations, often dropping several degrees below ambient levels, appear as dark patches on the infrared screen, suggesting the presence of an energy source unaccounted for by environmental conditions. In one striking sequence, a thermal camera captured what appeared to be a humanoid figure moving across the stage of the ballroom, its form distinct yet ephemeral. Subsequent attempts to replicate the phenomenon using conventional means, such as opening windows or manipulating airflow, yielded no similar results, leaving investigators baffled by the origins of the anomaly. Television crews have also contributed to the Heathman's haunted narrative, bringing its spectral tales to a global audience. Popular paranormal shows such as Ghost Adventures and Most Haunted have featured episodes dedicated to the Heathman Hotel, drawing millions of viewers into its shadowy corridors. In one memorable segment, host Zach Bagans led a team through the Grand Ballroom, employing a combination of traditional investigative techniques and psychics to interpret the site's energy. The resulting footage included dramatic interactions with alleged spirits, including audible growls, sudden equipment malfunctions, and a chilling moment when a flashlight turned on and off repeatedly without human intervention. Such televised investigations have not only amplified the Heathman's fame but also introduced new layers of interpretation to its haunting phenomena, blending empirical observation with intuitive insight. Documentary filmmakers have similarly delved into the hotel's spectral history, crafting narratives that blend archival research with contemporary exploration. One standout project, titled Echoes of the Heathman, meticulously traces the evolution of the hotel's haunted reputation, weaving together interviews with historians, descendants of former staff, and eyewitnesses to paranormal activity. The film's creators utilized drone footage to capture sweeping aerial views of the hotel and its surroundings, juxtaposing its serene beauty with the unsettling accounts of ghostly encounters. This cinematic approach underscores the duality of the Heathman as both a historical landmark and a portal to the unknown, inviting audiences to consider the broader implications of its haunted legacy. Social media platforms have further amplified the reach of these investigations, transforming the Heathman Hotel into a digital hotspot for paranormal enthusiasts. Amateur investigators and casual visitors alike share their experiences and findings online, contributing to a vast repository of user-generated content. Viral videos of unexplained phenomena, such as orbs floating through the ballroom or shadowy figures darting across the halls, have garnered millions of views, sparking debates about the authenticity and meaning of such occurrences. The democratization of paranormal investigation through social media has created a feedback loop, where each new piece of evidence inspires fresh interest and inquiry, perpetuating the hotel's status as a must-visit destination for those seeking the supernatural. The timeless allure of the Heathman Hotel. As we draw the curtains on our exploration of the Heathman Hotel, one truth emerges with crystalline clarity. This iconic establishment is far more than a mere artifact of Portland's storied past. It is a living, breathing entity, a nexus where the past and present collide, where the boundaries between the seen and unseen blur into an ethereal haze. From its towering clock tower to the shadowy corridors of its 7th floor, every corner of the Heathman whispers stories of human triumph and tragedy, of lives lived and lost, of spirits that refuse to fade. These narratives, interwoven with the hotel's architectural splendor and spectral legends, create a tapestry of haunting allure that continues to captivate visitors and locals alike. The Heathman's enduring appeal lies not only in its opulent design or its role as a sanctuary for the elite but in its ability to transcend the tangible. It is a place where the echoes of history resonate with startling clarity, where the footsteps of keepers and the cries of performers reverberate through time. For those who dare to climb its spiral staircase or wander its shadowy halls, the Heathman offers more than a glimpse into Portland's golden age. It provides an immersive encounter with the mysteries that lie just beyond the veil. Whether through the chilling accounts of paranormal activity, the poignant tales of love and loss, or the watchful presence of the Keeper of the Keys, the Heathman invites us to confront the unknown, to peer into the shadows and listen to the whispers of those who came before. Yet, the Heathman Hotel is not merely a repository of spectral tales, it is a cultural cornerstone. A symbol of resilience and continuity that binds the community together. Its stories are woven into the fabric of local lore, passed down through generations as a testament to the city's unique identity. For residents, it is a beacon of belonging, a reminder of the interconnectedness of human experience across time. For the wider world, it is a portal to the mysteries of the unknown, a space where art, literature, and media converge to amplify its haunting legacy. The Heathman's ability to inspire creativity and foster connection underscores its timeless relevance, ensuring that its stories will endure for generations to come. As you leave the shadow of the Heathman Hotel behind, take a moment to reflect on the lessons it imparts. It reminds us of the fragility of human existence, the indomitable spirit of those who face the unknown, and the enduring power of memory and mystery. Whether you are drawn to its spectral legends, its historical significance, or its cultural impact, the Heathman leaves an indelible mark on all who encounter it, a haunting reminder that some places are destined to linger in the heart and mind long after the visit ends. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the shadows of the Heathman Hotel. If these tales have sparked your curiosity or sent a shiver down your spine, we invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you visited the Heathman? Do you have a ghostly encounter to share? Or perhaps you're inspired to explore its mysteries further? Whatever your experience, we'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more spine-chilling stories and supernatural explorations. Until next time, keep your lantern lit and your courage strong, for in the shadows, the past waits to be discovered.